Hello, everyone. I'm Sign1News anchor Martha Anger. Here's a quick look at the top trending stories making headlines today. If you post an interesting comment about this update, we may add it at the bottom of the screen. As recovery efforts continue in Florida in the wake of Hurricane Ian, authorities are getting a clearer picture of the massive undertaking that lies ahead. The death toll continues to rise. At least 105 people are confirmed dead, and officials fear that number will continue to go up. So far, more than 164,000 residents have applied for FEMA assistance. Federal, state, and local agencies, along with volunteers, are on the ground working to meet immediate needs and to start the rebuilding process. And stories of heroism are emerging too, including the story of a man named Johnny Lauder who waded through chest-high water for nearly half a mile to rescue his mother as the waters rose inside her home. He then pushed her wheelchair through the water to get her to dry land. The House January 6th committee says it plans to hold possibly its final hearing next week. But Americans don't have to wait that long to learn more about what happened during the Capitol riot. New insight about what key figures were doing during the January 6th attack came out during the first day of testimony in the Oath Keepers trial. 5 alleged members of the far-right Oath Keepers group are on trial. They are charged with seditious conspiracy. They've all pleaded not guilty. The estranged wife of founder Stuart Rhodes says he studied manipulation techniques to inspire others to storm the Capitol. But he chose not to enter the building. An FBI agent testified senators seemed shocked during the riot, and some were even crying. As for then President Donald Trump, newly released audio shows at one point he denied watching the riot unfold on TV. But testimony to the January 6th panel contradicts that. The results of an independent investigation commissioned by U.S. Soccer was released Monday night. The investigation of women's professional soccer found widespread abuse and misconduct. Investigators said they did over 200 interviews, and they discovered the National Women's Soccer League had a culture of verbal and emotional abuse, as well as sexual misconduct deeply rooted in it. They say the problem spans multiple teams, multiple coaches, and had multiple victims. Investigators say even youth leagues have the same issue. The National Women's Soccer League said it would immediately review the report, which it says will be critical in implementing reforms. And the U.S. soccer president called the findings heartbreaking and deeply troubling, and promised immediate action to create meaningful, long-lasting change in the system. A Moscow regional court has set October 25th as the appeal date for WNBA star Brittney Griner. Griner was arrested with less than 1 gram of cannabis oil in her luggage at Moscow's airport on February 17th. In August, she was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison for deliberately smuggling drugs into the country. Griner admitted she had the cannabis oil in her luggage, but she says she packed them while in a hurry and that she had no intention of selling it. The U.S. State Department says Griner is being wrongfully detained. A disturbing prank by the River Valley High School football team in Northern California has left the community angry, frustrated, and shocked. Last week, school officials obtained a video described as a slave sale, where players appeared to stage a slave auction of 3 of their black teammates. CNN has not seen the video, but CNN affiliate KCRA says it shows about a dozen students pointing and yelling dollar amounts at the black students standing in their underwear up against a wall. Several of the players involved in the prank were suspended. As a result, there weren't enough players left to play, so the entire varsity football season was canceled. The school district superintendent released a statement saying, "They may have thought this skit was funny, but it is not. It is unacceptable and requires us to look honestly and deeply at issues of systemic racism." Reenacting a slave sale as a prank tells us that we have a great deal of work to do with our students so they can distinguish between intent and impact. Here's a sneak peek at the Black Panther sequel and a first look at Will Smith's new movie. In the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, it is clear the people of Wakanda are in mourning. It's still unknown who will take over the role as the next Black Panther after actor Chadwick Boseman's death. He died in 2020 at the age of 43 following a battle with colon cancer. In a recent interview, the president of Marvel Studios said it was much too soon to recast the late actor's character, King T'Challa. However, at the end of the trailer, a woman of unknown identity appears in a new Black Panther suit. The trailer doesn't specifically reveal who is in the suit or who will carry on the legacy of King T'Challa. Black Panther Wakanda Forever hits theaters November 11th. And now here's your first look at Will Smith's new movie. It's entitled Emancipation. The movie is set during the Civil War. It's based on the true story of a runaway slave named Peter trying to escape from plantation owners. The film appears to be shot in all black and white. It is Smith's first movie project to reach audiences since the infamous slapping incident with Chris Rock at this year's Oscars ceremony. Emancipation debuts in theaters December 2nd. Then it will begin streaming on Apple TV Plus December 9th. Today, Tuesday, celebrates the holiest day of the year in Judaism. Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement, begins at sundown on October 4th. According to Jewish tradition, the day is a chance to wipe the slate clean of any wrongs committed over the past year. Jews who observe Yom Kippur will fast, repent, and worship from sundown Tuesday until the end of nightfall on Wednesday. Services during Yom Kippur are held throughout the day and end with the blowing of the shofar. That's a ritual musical instrument carved from the horn of a ram. Sign1News will be broadcasting updates Monday through Friday. A big thank you to our Sign1News app supporters. You help make this broadcast happen. You can download the Sign1News app by heading to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone, and you can also watch on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku.